Why don't you call me Honey Bear anymore?
Give it a rest. Take that ridiculous name tag off.
I loved it when you called me Honey Bear. We used to be happy.
You want to talk about what happened between then and now, hey Ruben?
You see, that's how I know you're angry at me. When you call me Reuben. It's like my old man used to say. Women like to give us the silent treatment, and we like to let them think we don't like it.
The best was the set design. I think it was really cool. I loved how the lighting as well kind of added to the ambiance of the set design. I think it looked like a real shop. I think all the props looked like it was meticulously placed in a way that felt really natural. And I thought it all worked very well together. I thought it was really great. I kind of liked the whole kind of view on relationships throughout the entire piece. How, you have Ruben, aka Honey Bear, and you have Al, in which like you can tell they're getting into an argument, and you can tell that Al's upset with Ruben, but you won't exactly tell Ruben what's up, and just kind of seeing the dichotomy between their two personalities and how they shouldn't work together. But I guess in a way, I get how they kind of work together. So I think that was really interesting. I don't know if this was what was supposed to also be a theme in the story. I think it's just the irony of the fact that you kind of get into these like minimal arguments, like things that probably could be resolved with simple communication. And they always say those sayings about like don't go to bed upset and like all that stuff because you never know when it's like, your last moment with them. And that's kind of exactly what happened with these two. So I think the irony of him being like at the end, like cradling him and being like, you're gonna be okay, and then him finally calling him Honey Bear again, even though Ruben said from the beginning he doesn't like being called Ruben. And now he's calling him Honey Bear, even though like he's barely cognizant enough to understand it, was just really heartbreaking to see. So I thought the two actors, they had really good chemistry. I think Al was phenomenal. That actor, I think he did a great job.
There's a very strange feel about it that I think is effective in both capturing its sense of mood and its sense of humor that is pretty consistent across the cast. And I thought that there was a really strong sense of chemistry between those on screen and the cinematic approach in terms of trying to create a very claustrophobic environment and sort of a deviant landscape for a cast of characters that are quite interesting and are seedy depending on how you perceive the environment that they're in. I thought the piece had a good sense of self-awareness in terms of that approach, and it ended up building up to the ending in a way that I thought made sense and matched the other stylistic approaches of the film. So I ended up thinking it was well done and ended up having a good sense of humor and a good sense of shock value throughout the piece, and I thought made it easy to get into.
There was so much foreshadowing in this film. There was definitely a full circle moment with the gun. I love the whole explanation of it's just not the thing to do to regift a gun or this gun in front of the person that gave it to you. It's not in good taste. It's so not the thing to do. This whole situation with the gun is so complicated, but I love that there is an explanation as to this is not what you're supposed to do with this. Like, this is so in bad taste, and then it goes a step further with him getting shot. So I thought that was interesting. There's so much foreshadowing to this robbery that happens at the end, both with the selling of the gun, with the continuous mention of just how much money they have there. Oh my gosh, there's so much money. I'm so worried. And they're saying it right in front of a customer who is very suspicious looking. So definitely a lot of foreshadowing there, which I thought was interesting. It did build suspense because we knew something was coming, so I guess that was a good choice in that way. I definitely was on the edge of my seat because I knew some sort of robbery or something was about to happen with the gun, with the money. So that was a good choice there. But yeah, I also liked the banter between Honey Bear and what's his name, Al. I thought it was cool to see their dynamic. It was very a little bit toxic, a little bit dysfunctional, but they ran the shop together and they seemed to do a good job at that. But their relationship was definitely on the rocks, and they had some fun banter with that, which I enjoyed.
Like the color scheme and the blue-green tint to the film, it sort of created this sort of thriller-esque vibe to the film, which I thought was really well executed. I love how the film was pretty. I love how the film was pretty dialogue heavy, and it took place in like one location, and how these different characters all interact with the guy behind the desk on from all different stories. And I love the twist with the violence towards the end. Let's say it like that. The gun involvement. It was quick. It was pretty. It was pretty heavy for the film. So
So it's more than just like a casual drama kind of thing. At the end, it's kind of like more emotional between like the friendships of the two characters, the two main characters too. So it's good to see that's going on with like their love for the same thing sexually, and the performances are good. Like the vibe of the film is pretty dark, but it's not like super dark. So it's pretty accessible to any kinds of audiences out there, and it's well shot, well produced, with good story, good narrative, and good performances.
I just love the relationship between Ruben and Al. The performers were able to convey the feelings of a long term relationship, very comfortable with each other with moments of tension. I thought the setting of the sex shop was quite convincing with lots of appropriate props. I like the storyline of this one with the surprise ending.